I came back down to Bay Terrace. It's right there with the whatever. Same night that I ran into Cuppa Joe. So now the man that Cuppa Joe or JC hashtag 28 refers to as Legendary Mike. I mean, I wouldn't have called him Legendary Mike, but whatever. That's who Joe considers Legendary Mike. I know this gets confusing for all you Murphy lawyers. I said to him tonight, I said, I threw the Murphy's Law thing out there, and he goes, oh, Murphy's Law. He's like, yeah. He goes, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And I was like, right. I was like, thank you, because yes, it sure has. I was like, have you ever heard of the saying, dies in brute? And he goes, no. And I put my hands out, and I cupped them together, and I said, it's, the sentence broke. Like all of the words of man, they were going to keep their word to God. It just broke when... It's like man didn't keep their word at all. I guess you Murphy lawyers are keeping score of some sort. Well, I keep score as well. 100% of you fail. Not one of you keep your word to me. Or have kept your word to me. Joe showed up tonight. That was nice. Mike was here. I mean, he's not my legendary Mike. I mean, but he's a Mike that was legendary, apparently, to the local Bayside Mitty municipality. By the way, the Cup of Joe's Bayside Terrace or Bay Terrace shopping center, legendary Mike, the one with the larger belly, reports in two things for me tonight. One is that he has trouble at his place of residence. He says that his body machina, I mean, he doesn't say these words, these are my words, and report back to myself for later whatever. He said that the body machina heats up very fast in his home residence. Like he'll be cold, he'll put the heater on, and then all of a sudden he'll have to open the window because it gets too hot. For me, on my end of universal dispatch, it sounds to me like the gridding between his gridiron sector vector on the outside and then his body machina convection unit is broken. The fact that he's got to put it on and then open a window sounds like somebody's messing with my children in my project. A little too much time on their hands at all of Murphy's lawyers that broke their word to me. All right, so anyway, so then he mentions to me something about Nassau and the Bahamas, and I'm like, okay, so now I haven't spoken like archipelago in a while. I was like, so are you saying is Nassau like the region, like a couple of islands? Is it just one island? And he's like, no, Nassau is like the capital of one of the, and I was like, it is? I mean, to me, it doesn't sound right, but I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, again, I don't really have money to go, so again, I'd have to research it, but no point in doing any of that. He's like, you can look it up online. I was like, yeah, for what? I was like, it's not like I have money to go. I was like, what the hell do I care? And he was like, oh, and I'm like, wait, I was like, is that in that area? But like, and what's the deal with like, is it Bimini or Bimini? Like, isn't that like a trail of like lesser known, non-inhabitable, like hopscotch little dots on something? And he's like, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if is that the Bahamas? I was like, I don't know. Is it Bahamas or is it called the Nassau? Like, I mean, again, it depends on, I don't really find any of the local New York area up to date on anything travel-wise. Apparently, he took some cruises and he's got plenty of plane flights. I mean, I've only taken a flight the years I was working at the conference to go to Vegas and back, but not to go casino Vegas, just to get to like the educating, like, big room of lots of white people from Canada kind of a thing in Remax and in Exit. Not that that did me any good. I mean, Nicklaus never actually got to show up, which would have been perfect considering I was always single when I went. So frustrating. All right, let me think about this. And I was like, yeah, Murphy's Law, right? They always break their word. I was like, everything can go wrong, will go wrong, right? I was like, yeah, maybe you'd be better off with a couple of Mike lawyers. And he goes, so I said, I got the mic. Oh, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm Katarutsa. I was like, that would make me the cat in this conversation. Let's think about this. Oh, and then there was like a little kid who came over on his bike who didn't eat. His mom doesn't make Thanksgiving. Okay, so they ate at Applebee's, I think. He had a sweatshirt, a little too small for his frame, but it said on there something about living room legend. What? And in the middle, it had a remote control. It had a cross, and then a 4-dot dice on the other side. And then it was up because it was like that yellow white that's glow in the dark. I don't know what you call that in normal speech. And then like but it looks like a sequin, and then you push it down, and then it's red. So he said, no, my father made this, and I go, really? I go, because my son has one. I was like, his grandma I think bought it for him, but it was pre-made like that, and he was like, oh, no, my sweatshirt had a Jordan logo. I was like, no, Jordan, now that's interesting. I was like, Jordan, like what? What's the symbol for Jordan? Because I'm thinking telecommunications, Bell Atlantic, and the Jordan and Jordache company. Oh, look at that, I'm wearing Jordache jeans. What a effing surprise, Billie Jean. And he looks a little light on the stash, but heavy for a 14-year-old, just saying. So now he said that his father, and I said, so what is, because Michael Jordan is actually very dark-skinned gentleman in this version of Human in New York, and he plays basketball. Oh, right, he was in that movie, Space Jam, Spacejam. What a surprise, oh my God. And so this little kid from on the bike with the sweatshirt that Dad sewed over the logo, I'm like, so, I was like, no, I was like, listen, I need you to describe it for me. Like, what's the, like, don't just assume that I know. I was like, I'm asking you to enlighten me. What is the Jordan logo or symbol? And he was like, wait, what? Like, he was texting and he was like, wait, what? Oh, did I catch an attention? Like, did the stripped gear all of a sudden catch like oh my God, I should look up for a second. This sounds important. Yeah, it sure does. I was like, you mean like the NBA, like the guy leaning over, like the silhouette, like the red and white one? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's Jordan inside of there? And he's like, yeah. Like as if I should know. And I'm like, oh, I had no idea because that Jordan is very dark-skinned. This Jordan would kill you if you called him that dark. Just saying. But he's not my white, so I don't know what to tell you. Somewhere in between. I'm not giving it a word because what can I tell you? Nothing in this planet makes sense.